Welcome to part 2 of my Wannabe Canon DCU Reboot. This next movie is titled Wonder Woman, If by Land, If by Sea. Enjoy. Alright, so we already got Batman and Superman Year 1 in the books. That came out in January, right in the middle of January where there's no competition. Oscar season is winding down and the big summer movies haven't came out yet. So we made a killing. We made a lot of money. We're going to follow it up with our second movie, and that's going to come out in August. Another place where I think there's not a lot of competition. Early August, everybody is going out to have one last movie going experience before they go back to school or whatever they have to do. So our second movie is titled Wonder Woman, If by Land, If by Sea. This is the story of a budding war between two ancient civilizations that are protected by Greek gods. The lost city of Atlantis is an underwater kingdom that has lived in secrecy for centuries. But with growing tensions between the land dwellers and the treatment of the seas, the citizens of Atlantis are ready to revolt in some type of way, and they feel like it's time for them to be more dominant and go against the land dwellers. In Gotham, there was an incident in which water supplies were poisoned with deadly laughing chemicals, and this in turn affected the waters throughout the world, and that was kind of the last straw that broke the camel's back. However, talking about war against the land dwellers, they run up against Themyscira, which is home of the Amazons and protected by the goddess Athena. So with Themyscira being on land, Queen Hippolyta feels that if Atlantis was to go to war against the land dwellers, they would effectively be going against them too. So King Arthur, not King Arthur, but Arthur Curry, King of Atlantis, he has been visiting Themyscira to meet with the Amazonians in hopes that they could have a negotiation that way they don't have to have an actual war with each other. They don't want to see the people of Athena go against the people of Poseidon. So one night, Arthur is talking with Princess Diana, who's the daughter of Queen Hippolyta, and it seems as at this point the two sides can't come to an agreement and that war is going to be inevitable. As two great warriors, they respect each other and they're having a conversation, but they do admit to each other that they have to be loyal to their people, and even though they don't want to, if fighting starts, they will have to go against each other. In the middle of this conversation though, there's a loud crack in the sound barrier. A flash of lightning is everywhere, and then here appears Barry Allen in his full Flash costume. He explains that he's from the future and he came back to warn them that if the Atlanteans and Amazonians go to war, that the whole world will end up being destroyed. So after they decide to work together to stop the war, they recently find out that fighting has already started in small pockets between Amazonians and Atlanteans. So the only way to prevent a full-scale war, King Arthur, Aquaman, and Princess Diana, Wonder Woman, have to actually fight their own people to stop the war from happening. So just looking at the characters, our main character of course is Wonder Woman, Princess Diana. The thing with her in this movie is that she's very loyal. She feels her identity comes from being an Amazonian and being with her sisters. However, with the actual war coming to a reality and her mother pushing the kingdom to get ready to fight, she now finds herself for the first time at odds with her mother and her sisters because she's doing what in her heart feels right. Princess Diana is a fierce warrior. She loves fighting. She loves proving herself. She is ready for a war at the beginning. However, after seeing the future with Barry Allen and hearing about what the destruction it causes, she's appalled that such a great place like Themyscira could be at the center of such destruction. And so when she knows that the war is not wrong, she has to go against her fellow sisters. Arthur Curry is the king of Atlantis. Of course, he grew up on land, being half and half. But he does take his rightful place as king of Atlantis. However, he does have more compassion for the human land dwellers than his citizens. But as a fair king, he wants to make sure that what the people want is what they get. So against his better judgment, he has entertained the idea of breaking the secrecy of Atlantis and going on land to assert their dominance. And then we have Barry Allen. Barry Allen, future version of Barry Allen is the Flash. He's been a Flash for a while. He has complete control of the Speed Force and all his powers. This is the Flash we all hear about and we fear. He is very strong. However, in the future, this war has destroyed everybody that he has cared for and loved. And even though he knows that altering time can really screw things up and he's learned from his mistakes, he decides to go back to change the timeline because he feels like the world that he has left isn't a world worth living in. And so he goes back and takes the risk of changing the timeline because the world is going to be destroyed anyway. So I think this movie sets up a lot of good things. I think we see two fierce warriors and kind of their struggle between their loyalty to their people and also being, heroes and listening to their conscience of what is actually right. We see a more veteran Barry Allen. So our first introduction to the Flash isn't a young guy, but it's the mega Flash. It's the guy we wanted to see with all his different powers. He's able to take Diana and Arthur through the Speed Force into the future just like that, right before they can even argue with him and question him. He zips them through the Speed Force and Barry Allen shows them what the world becomes. So a lot of good things in this movie, but really seeing how Wonder Woman comes to grips with who she needs to be in order to go forward. So the end credit scene, we have Diana, Barry, and Arthur all talking before they part ways. Barry thanks them for helping change the future, and then he goes through the Speed Force. Diana tells Aquaman that, after seeing all this and seeing, the type of destruction that could happen, I have to make sure that the future never looks like that because of us. And so the way she's going to do that is by traveling out into man's world, finding their greatest hero, and creating a great relationship between the world and the Amazonians. So the greatest hero the earth has to offer is Superman. But she also mentions that before she finds Superman, she wants to find a young man by the name of Barry Allen who's going to be a great hero one day. And then Aquaman replies that he needs to go back to his kingdom and help rebuild the fate of his people after they almost went to war. And so he said he'll always be around. However, he's not going to join her on her journey. So again, Wonder Woman, if by land, if by sea. Go ahead, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section. Let me know what you thought about Batman and Superman Year One. If you haven't seen that, then check this link. I'll put a link there to that video. Go check that out. Like, thumbs up, subscribe. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.